In today's video, we're going to be looking at how I am the most exemplary investor of all time of the whole one day that I've been investing. Not even that, just today really. So I put some Instagram stories out the other day about asking for advice on investing in stocks and shares. I got some incredible answers from people, a whole load of help, and then I decided to start investing straight away with no real research other than asking people on Instagram. Smart. Welcome if you're new here, welcome back if you're not. My name's Jonny Bradley, I'm founder of the Seller Pro Academy, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about my newfound fantasy for investing. For the first time ever, but not actually really, I have invested money into the stock market and I have a strategy that I'm going to be following for maybe the rest of my life. I don't really know yet. It's pretty early on to tell. But in today's video, I'm going to be showing you what I spent my money on, what my strategy is, and generally just to let you know how uneducated I am on this topic. And hopefully there's lots of you out there which are very educated that will leave comments about what I'm doing wrong. Now, for the past few years, I've been working really on building my businesses, and investing for the future, other than in myself and in my businesses, hasn't really taken a priority. However, very recently I sold a property. I'm also buying another property, and I thought, do you know what? It's probably time that I invest more money into my future. One of the things that I will be doing, among other things, is investing in stocks and shares, indexes and funds and things like that. Now, I am not a trader. I've never traded in my life, and I don't really want to start getting into trading because I simply don't have the time. However, I have got a strategy that works for me, or hopefully will work for me, and there's probably many of you that will agree with this strategy and maybe some people that won't. But let me take you through the strategy, and at the end of the video, I'm going to be taking you through what I actually purchased, so you can all check out what I'm doing. Disclaimer, I know pretty much nothing about stocks and shares on the grand scheme of things. I know how they work, but generally speaking, I don't know anything. Don't take any of my advice. It's probably bad, okay? There's many people that you can follow that have been doing this for a long time that will be able to actually give you advice. That is not me, okay? Hopefully I will upskill myself and be very smart at it and be very good, but that is not today. That is not this video. For me, it was really important to understand what my goal is. Whenever you're investing, it doesn't matter what it is, you need to understand what you're doing it for. If you're investing in a business or yourself, what's the outcome? You're not doing things, just for fun when it comes to investing, unless you are and you just got money to blow. But for me, there is a purpose to it. I want to have more money at the end of it. I am 30 years old. I know I look incredible for 30. Obviously, but I'm 30 years old, and that begs the question, when am I going to die? And more importantly, will I have a happy life when I'm old? Will I have the money that I need when I'm old? Will I be able to look after my family when I'm old? And of course, having a business, multiple streams of income, that is always going to fund my lifestyle. That's also going to fund my investments. But the thing is, for the last few years, I've liked buying things that don't make me money, like cars or technology. Okay, I tend to do things that aren't financially a good idea when it comes to my own personal finances. The goal that I'm initially looking at is a 20-year goal. So I'm 30 now, and this will complete when I'm 50. But of course, that plan may change in 5 years' time. But the idea is this is a long-term goal. This isn't something I'm looking to do for a short term, because a lot of this stuff really won't make you a lot of money in the short term, but in the long term, it really will. So minimum, I'm looking to kind of stack for about 15 to 20 years. If that goes on for longer, fantastic. If it's shorter and I make more than I expected, then again, that's going to be great as well. But importantly, long-term goals. And I think with stocks and shares, if you're not operating as a business, i.e. trading, then you really need to be in it for the long game. For me, it's all about set and forget, putting money into something and forgetting about it. Like it's not even my money. And then when I'm 50, I'm a bit wrinkly. I'm like, oh, yeah, just take £1 million from that. No biggie. So this is my strategy, and this is where I'm sure many of you will be a lot more educated than me on this topic, and feel free to give me advice and give me comments down below. I actually would really appreciate that. I will read them, and might take some of them on board as well. The first thing that I did was start a stocks and shares ISA. So in the UK, I don't know what it's like in other countries. An ISA is basically something where you can put money into it and it's tax-free up to, for this year, £20,000, which means that I can invest up to £20,000 by the 5th of April, 2021, and that will be tax-free. So any gains, any interest, anything like that will be tax-free, which is good. We don't like paying HMRC money. Believe me, I've paid them enough. I don't want to pay them any more than I need to. So I'll be investing in indexes, funds, that sort of stuff with that ISA. This is something that I'll set on a direct debit. So I'll just direct debit it might be 500 or 1,000 pounds every month just into that, and up to 1,600 pounds a month, just so I don't go over that 20,000 pound limit. Now, the reason why I'm deciding to do a monthly direct debit and not actually pay attention to the stock price or the price of the FTSE 250 or the S&P 500 is because of some kind of proven facts about investing. If you were to look back over the last 10 years or 20 years, for example, and if you had a trader, the best trader ever, that invested their money, let's say you had £20,000 a year and they invested their £20,000 in, let's say, 3 or 4 trades at the lowest points, then of course that they will make money. They'll make a load of money, which would be fantastic. If you take someone that buys at the highest points of the stock market, they will still make money because the market goes up over the 10, 20 years anyway. So they will still make money. But the person that makes the most money is someone that splits that 20,000 up, and rather than doing 3 or 4 or 5 investments, they do it every single month on demand. Doesn't matter if the price is high or low. That person will make more than the other 2 people. And the reason is that while, let's say, person number 1's money is sitting in the bank waiting for them to invest, person's 3 money is actually investing already. It's investing on a monthly basis, so they're able to benefit from any gains that happen on the monthly basis, rather than the first person and the second person. They are not making any money while their money's in the bank. Yeah, and for me, this seems like the right strategy for someone that wants to just, set and forget. I think this is probably the most obvious choice for a lot of people if they're looking to just set and forget, and they're looking to basically invest monthly, save some money from their paycheck, instead of putting it into savings, then putting it into an ISA in this way. Now let's look at some of the maths, because this is when I kind of like it. So let's say I invest 20k, a year at a 10% interest rate. I'm going to have that variable by 2%, so from 8 to 12%. Then that will roughly equal in 20 years time about 880,000 or 1.4 million, anywhere between those marks. And that's by literally doing nothing at all other than having a direct debit set up with someone like Vanguard, who I've chosen to do the investing with, or the platform I've chosen. And that's literally doing nothing. So let me go through some of the maths here. Okay, so I've opened up this interest calculator. It's actually a pretty cool calculator. It is based in the US, but it doesn't really matter. We'll just exchange it for pounds and dollars. So initial investment. So the first thing I've done is I've actually just put £1,000 into a couple of funds, which I'll show you later. The reason why I've done this amount and not done more or not done less is because I've never used these systems before. I've never used these websites. I really didn't know what I was doing. And I actually did make a mistake, which I'll show you guys in a minute. Monthly contributions, I'm going to set this to about 1,000. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I'm just about to move house, so I'm sure that's going to be pretty expensive, but I'm going to say it's about 1,000 because I want to eventually put as close to £20,000 a year in as possible. Length of time in years, 20 years. Interest rate, we're going to put at 10% and variable by 2%. So I'm going to say anywhere between 8 and 12%. Compound frequency will be annually. So I'm going to calculate this. This will calculate how much money you put in, how much money you're going to kind of have out at the end of it. So it says in 20 years, you'll roughly have 700,000. This is going to be pounds, not dollars. And in terms of the amount that you're putting in, it's going to be essentially 240 times 1,000. So 200, well, and the 1,000 you invested, so it's 241,000 in and 700,000 out. So that's a very nice profit margin. The great thing about the ISA is that this will all be tax-free income, which is good. We like tax-free income. That's very, 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 very good. Whereas if you were to invest in the same stocks and shares or the same indexes, etc., then you'll be paying tax on your gains, which is bad. We don't want to pay tax when we don't need to. So I would say the reason why I've gone for an ISA is just so I can make the best tax efficient decisions possible. Now with the ISAs, it is combined over if you have like a help to buy ISA or a savings ISA. I actually don't have those things, so I will be putting as much as I possibly can into the stocks and shares ISA. Now if we do change this, so let's say by this year I've put in 20,000, okay, by April 2021, and then I put it to continue at 1,600 a month, which if you'll look carefully, 20,000 divided by 12 is 1,666. So let's say I'm doing a monthly contribution of 1,666, then 20 years, again, the same rates, calculate that. That ends up to a roughly 1.2 million. At the higher 12% is 1.5. and it could go down as well. This is also assuming that I'll be earning the same amount that I am today going forward for the next 20 years, which of course it could go down, but realistically is looking like it's going up, and I will continue to push forward and work hard and make more money and be able to increase this figure and ideally have that proportionally invested to the amount that I actually make. So I've done some quick math for you. So if I invest 1K now and 1K per month for the next 20 years, at 12% interest, it ends up at 874,000. At 8% interest, it's 553,000. In the middle at 10%, just under 700,000. So if you look at the profits on those, they would be respectively 633,000 for the 12%, 453,000 for the 10%, and 312,000 for the 8% for doing absolutely nothing other than having a direct debit set up and obviously making the money in the first place. So that seems like a good deal to me. Generally doing not that much, getting some money at the end of it tax-free. I like the idea of that. If you increase it to 30 years, which I'm not sure I will, it's quite a long time away, then that will bring in way more, about 2 to 3 million. The next thing I will be doing is investing in some stocks that I just like, right? The companies that I follow and I think that I want to participate in their growth with. So I've set up on Trading 212. There's, I think, £1,000 in my account. I haven't actually spent any of it yet, so maybe I'll do that now, but probably won't do it on video because I will make a mistake and I'll end up losing loads of money. So I'm looking at Beyond Meat just because I think they're cool. I think they're a wicked company. And I think they have a lot of growth. Apple, I've invested in Apple in the past and made some really good money on Apple stocks. And that was because I worked there for 5 years and I was enrolled in their stock purchase plan and as well as getting RSUs. So yeah, I'm kind of familiar with Apple stocks and never really lost money on Apple stocks. So I will definitely be investing more in them. Amazon, of course, I support Amazon. I think they're going to be around for a long time. They pretty much dominate everything and the world, especially if you look at the documentary I did about their data. I think Amazon are a great company to invest in, so I'll probably be investing in them as well. Facebook, again, because it's a solid bet. All these companies are pretty, well, maybe not Beyond Me, but all of these companies are pretty much solid bets. And I'm not looking to trade. I'm not looking to swing trade or any of that stuff because I just don't have the time or the knowledge level at the moment. So I'm looking to buy something and just leave it for as long as I can. Finally, I'm not sure if I will invest in these guys. Alibaba, I use Alibaba. And yeah, I think, again, they're going to continue to do really well into the future. But I'm not so sure about that one. I haven't looked into it as much as the others. Before I buy these stocks, I'd love your recommendations, okay? I know you're not financial advisors and definitely nor am I, but I'd love recommendations on what you think I should do with the money that I'm going to be playing around with using the Trading 212. It was really interesting to see what you invest in. I put this out on my Instagram yesterday just before recording this video, and loads of people have a little bit of experience within the stock market, and it was really interesting to hear everyone's responses, everyone's recommendations. I might not take on everyone's recommendations, but I really definitely want to hear them. So let me know what you think. If you invest in stocks and shares, let me know what you're doing, what your strategy is, if you like my strategy, if you don't. This is my Vanguard portfolio, and you can see here that I have an ISA, and for some reason I decided to put £100 in like a general stocks. I don't even know what. See, that was a mistake, and this is why I needed to test this stuff. I need to put money into it to understand how the hell it works. I need to remove that money. I don't want to put it in there because I want it in there. So that's a mistake I made, so don't worry about that. If we go into the ISA, as you can see here, I've lost money in the all of one day that I've had these. So I will be able to look at the investment. If you go view, you can see here. So I invested in the FTSE 250. Okay. And then the S&P 500. If you have a look, there was basically like £500 each. And I've lost a bit of money on each one, which is fine because I'm not going to be looking at this really at all on a daily, monthly basis. It's probably, every few months, I'll probably check in and see how the portfolio is doing. And I will set up a direct debit just to direct debit money into here and just add into these funds and maybe some other funds. I will continue to probably invest in these two. But however, I would also love recommendations on any particular index or funds that you guys invest in too. That's it for this little update. Now, if you want me to continue these videos, maybe every month or every 3 months, just to show you what I've been doing with this, I would love to know. Leave a comment. I might forget to do them. It's not my main interest. It's not my main focus. But if you do want me to do that, you find it interesting, then of course, let me know down in the comments and by hitting the thumbs up button. That's it for today's video. I really do hope I get your recommendations in the comments, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.